back, everyone, to Third Street Reactions. I'm Zach.
I'm Shane.
We're back with Attack on Titan, Season 4, Episode 17. You remember what happened last time?
Yeah, man, I know you got some notes. I really loved the episode. We were talking about getting more of the action, but I really enjoyed all the intrigue that was developing. Essentially, I guess there's three sides now that I like. So, yeah, we'll see. What do you got?
Just to go over the bullet points, we know that Jean suspects Aaron's intentions.
Yeah, we got that.
What he's really coming, like what angle he's really coming from.
Yeah.
Because he asked how Armin got hurt, and he explained it to him. He's like, well, that doesn't make any sense, because why would he act this way, and etc. After everything, how he's always been. Marley, of course, showing up. And we have the impending confrontation with Rhina.
Yeah.
So, and I just kept thinking about that look on Rhina's face.
Yeah.
It's not one of trepidation, it's just like, he's ready. He looks ready.
Yeah, he does.
And of course, so it opened with Zeke's torso. And him by his
it
head
did.
and
It didn't
torso.
really. Yeah, and he got.
And that fucking Titan put him in its guts.
It's disgusting.
But the Jaegerists that are out there with Hanji, they're going there now.
Yeah, they heard the Thunder Spear.
Yeah.
Well, they heard something.
They heard
Hanji knew it was the Thunder Spear.
Yeah, she said it out loud. Okay. So they're going there to investigate, but presumably Zeke's gone.
Yeah.
So they might find Levi.
Yeah, God.
Those are the main points, and of course we had Peek was there, but to me that just leads up to the Marley shit. So
yeah, she was in on the plan.
They tried to ambush him with the Jaw Titan, but he was prepped and ready, and he lost his legs, but he transformed at the last minute. And he looks like ready and buff and ready to whoop some ass in his Titan form now.
Well, you know what's cool is like
the actor. He got some shit when he was playing young Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't really heard anyone complain when he's playing this version.
Yeah, his performance. It's good, adult Aaron. I'm looking forward to just seeing the showdown between him and Rhina. I want to see that. I don't know if we're going to get in this episode, because you know how they are. They'll
they might just take us back to fucking Levi.
And then they'll just bounce it back and forth, and it's just, god damn it.
Yeah, I want to see it too. Generally interested in the Levi stuff, but like, I want this.
But we know, though, that it's not just Rhina, because the Jaw Titan's there, the Cart Titan, and Rhina.
Yeah.
Versus Aaron, unless Zeke shows up to help him.
I believe Aaron would do, like, he'd hold his own, but like, Reiner...
But Rhina's good enough
that
just him alone, I think
right.
Aaron would be better than him now.
Yeah.
But I think Rhina's tough enough that the other two on top of that would really fuck things up for him.
The Jaw Titan is more like, he's literally like he hits and withdraws and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And,
he's a very guerrilla warfare.
Yeah. Anyways, before we jump in, guys, just so you know, you can watch the reaction. We don't put on YouTube for copyright. We put our Patreon for free for everybody. You just got to watch that and come back here and you can hear our review. So I started doing this journey with Zach, having seen a lot of this, but I haven't seen the last few episodes, so I'm really excited. So if you want to support us, you can also subscribe to our Patreon and watch the full-length reaction. Let's jump in. Oh, yeah, he pulled a Tyson.
I was like, come on, man, get in there.
What do you think?
Fuck. I was ready for something. I mean, we got the fight started, but, it's not really I wouldn't call it anticlimactic, but it's not really as what I was expecting it to be. I mean, I imagine he's going to get swarmed, and he is, but he's holding his own.
Yeah.
But right now, they've got a well-thought-out plan. They're wearing him down. I mean, luckily, he's trained himself to endure for a little while, but...
Yeah, despite how good he is, something is going to happen. But if that something didn't happen, then
that's the thing.
He might be fucked.
Yeah, he's going to be fucked if they don't step in and help him.
Yeah.
So Armin, Mikasa, Jean, those guys are probably going to step in. Maybe we'll get the big fucking explosion from the Colossal Titan showing up on the scene and swatting down some blimps.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be cool as hell. And then Mikasa running around kicking some ass.
Can we just...
just Armin and Mikasa joining in would tip the scales tremendously.
Yeah, because she's an Ackerman and he's got the claw. It's an atomic bomb when he goes off.
Yeah, and then if he just blew up, I mean, if they don't give a fuck about the Jaegerists, they just wipe everybody out. Who cares? Because they don't like the Jaegerists or the goddamn Marlians. They could just wipe everybody out and fuck it.
Yeah, I'm like on their side. That's the side I'm on, but in terms of the story, like I'm the most interested in what Aaron has planned and like what his motivation.
Well, that's why I still feel like Aaron's kind of more or less in their corner. So I feel like he's just obviously he's got a game plan that he doesn't want them to get hurt or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
But
what do you think of?
But then you got Levi.
Okay.
He looked very dead.
He looked dead, and it looked like he didn't have any legs when it had the faraway shot. But I couldn't tell.
He looked pretty fucked up. I said he blew his guts out. Of course, she's covering him, so maybe she's just saying so. But if he's just hanging on by a thread.
Then I feel like the only option is for him to.
Yeah, but I'm very sure that Kenny said they couldn't do it.
I think Kenny thought.
Or he would just be mindless. That's right, because he was sitting under the tree with the thing, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't want to do that."
Yeah, because he doesn't want to be a mindless fuck.
Yeah, because he just didn't know the truth of what that meant to become a Titan.
Yeah,
and once he did, he's like, "What?" When he's talking to his friend's brother, the actual king, he's like, "What the fuck, man?"
Rod, no, not Rod, but Yuri.
Yuri was his friend.
Yeah.
Rod was the one that was the fat ass piece of shit.
Oh yeah.
Historia's dad.
The guy who was on the ground.
Licking it up. Yeah, he turned into that horrible,
the most
crawling,
ugly thing.
Fucking terrible piece of shit. And then Zeke had some visions.
That's I love lore, man. Like that's the shit to me. When I go up and I look at the Mass Effect Codex, I look up the stuff on like what the villains are. Mm-hmm. It's like that. Where was he? Who was that girl?
Yeah, it's a shame I missed that game series. I mean, I know I can still play it now, but to me, it wouldn't be the same as like Metal Gear Solid. I grew up playing. That was the first big game that I just won my heart. Yeah. And so if I replay the old games now, it's a treat for me.
Which I might do because they've just been re-releasing.
Yeah.
They've been
remastered. But they're a treat to me. But when I was like Mass Effect now, I've been told the lore by you.
You haven't been told everything.
I know, but at the same time, when you go back and play an older game, it doesn't have the same kind of.
Yeah, it's old. The first one feels old. The second and third doesn't. They've actually they have been remastered for the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X too.
Really?
So 2 and 3.
I know they had a collection of all of them.
Yeah, it's I can't remember what it's called. The Legendary Collection. Oh, and McGath cares.
He does care.
And I always said he did. Yeah,
I get that.
Yeah.
Like him and Rhina are kind of some redeeming qualities of Marley, of what we see on face value.
Yeah.
It doesn't change the fact that I want them to fucking lose.
Yeah, they've been doing some evil shit.
Yeah,
I know it's like
based off of how they're presenting the story and who you're supposed to care about. We'll just go with that. Aaron and his group, and we've seen everything they've endured.
Armin's grandpa that's all he had because his parents are dead. He was forced to fight in a war, and he got eaten by a Titan.
Yeah, so they've lost everything to this shit.
Yeah.
And then we see like all these horrible things happening to our main cast.
Yeah.
And then Reiner's kind of more of a sympathetic character now.
Yeah.
And what's his name? McGath.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the cool guy.
He's a cool guy. I mean, but you could argue that he's a part of an evil system. And and if you don't fight the system, then you're just as bad, as some people say. Yeah,
but to me though, it's just I would not risk in my mind. I would not want him to survive, just if that meant Marley surviving.
Yeah,
like if that means he's got to go, and Marley's said it's all got to go.
The only one I struggle with that is Reiner.
I think he deserves, in terms of the story, a honorable end.
Yeah, an honorable end. Like Vader couldn't live.
Yeah, no, Reiner can't live.
Reiner and Aaron, I don't believe, can live.
No, not for the story to kind of continue and flower, and then presumably the future beyond the story.
Yeah.
I think Aaron's going to see it through to his death.
Yeah.
And that Reiner just needs to die.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he's going to last until the very end. Maybe he will. I'll be surprised, but I feel like he's on his way out. I don't know. I
just want Levi to
be alive.
He needs to be alive. Because, he gave us some great moments, but I would not
think about it. I mean, they could turn him into a Titan, and he can eat one of the others. The jaw, the cart, or the armor.
I kind of don't like that for him.
I don't either, but if you want him to live...
I'd rather have him live than die like that.
Yeah, because what if he ate the armor Titan? He's like, it would be very suitable for his demeanor and his character.
I just don't want...
But yeah,
I don't want Reiner to go out yet. I don't want him to have a shitty... I don't want him to be a cart Titan.
Yeah,
he would never be a cart Titan.
No, he wouldn't. I'd rather die.
You know what was interesting though? It's like I've made fun of the cart Titan, but when McGath was up there with a machine gun, I'm like, that's pretty useful.
The cannon, yeah.
And what if you just put like?
I mean, you can position.
What
it's
did
like
you do?
A walking tank. It's like Metal Gear. You can put it anywhere.
Yeah. What did you do before? Like Galliard. Someone could ride him as long as he wasn't flipping too much.
Yeah, that's the thing though. He's very like you saw him jumping from building to building. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Like the cart Titan runs and jumps and does all that shit, but it wasn't doing what he was doing.
I don't got too much else, but because I could talk a lot about this show, and maybe we'll wrap it up, in the end.
Yeah, it's there. It's all coming together. We're seeing some action. We're seeing, it's.
Well, it's like how do you subvert and fulfill? It's like a fine line. Like I'd rather be fulfilled with something that I think after 30 years watch TV as a natural conclusion than to be subverted.
Well,
much for the sake of subversion.
But I think fulfillment, though, is something that's subjective, and subversion is probably leaning towards objective because
Yeah, but like
some people can figure out the subversion before it happens.
Yeah.
If you're smart enough or clever enough or have seen enough TV. But fulfillment, I mean, if you just don't get the answers you like, it's like fucking Game of Thrones, man. I mean,
they did such a good job of making you care about characters who were fighting each other that there was no way to make everyone happy.
No, they just should have flipped it. I mean, for one, the biggest...
Spoilers, by the way.
Yeah. The biggest fucking letdown of that series is that the White Walkers have been built up.
Yeah, that's my...
As, like, these are the fucking problem. Like,
I
we're
agree.
all fighting around over dumb
They deserved
shit.
a whole season of, what we got in essentially one battle.
Yeah, it was dumb. It was fucking dumb. And it was sad and dumb. And then they got the shit with Daenerys because they felt like she was the queen of the fucking crop as far as... cream of the crop, but queen of the fucking anthill here, where they got these people just cared about her and were so intrigued by her that they thought that she needed to be the icing on that fucking cake. And no, she was not meant to be that. She's not that. It was such a fucking stupid ass ending, and because of those two things.
I
don't care. Like that could have happened with her, but it should have happened before the shit with the White Walkers.
The White Walkers,
or in the midst of it.
That itself needed like a big. Like a huge,
but it should have
multiple episode arc or season.
Yeah.
Of all darkness and like all this ancient evil shit. And
it was just like, oh, they're here. Oh, we beat them.
Like it was such a beautifully, technically made episode. Like they shot in the dark over like 30 days.
Some dumb shit happened there, but yeah.
Yeah, it was.
A bunch of guys charging off in the dark like assholes. Won't get into that. Right
now.
But the only redeeming quality I took from that is fucking the way Clegane went out. His story was a very fulfilling story.
His whole story was too.
Yeah, like he's my favorite.
Yeah, my favorite character, John. He had kind of a sad ending to me.
And it was okay. Rob, I don't feel like I was disappointed with his ending.
And Rob, I like Rob Stark.
Yeah, but he died early. I like Ned a lot. But
Ned was great.
Yeah, but he died first season.
Yeah.
It
really had some of the best things I've ever watched. It just ended.
Yeah, great characters, great actors, great performances all around.
Great music.
It's just fantastic series that they just flubbed.
Yeah. And also the brother who killed his daughter.
Fucked that up.
He was one of the best characters.
Yeah, Stephen Dillon. I like that actor a lot. And he played Thomas Jefferson, actually, in this TV series where Paul Giamatti played John Adams. I think it's just called John Adams. But which is funny. It's always funny to me to see British people playing American.
They'd be more British back then, though.
Probably. I mean, at that point,
by a couple of generations.
Yeah, but they may not be speaking like Brits, which he didn't.
Yeah.
But either way, I just always find that funny. It's but whatever. He's a cool guy. I like the actor anyway. So we don't need a podcast where we just talk about everything we love that has been fucked up at the end. Which I don't know.
Any of those might be the biggest.
Because The Strain, I feel like, ends well.
Oh, it ends greatly.
Yeah, and it's got a fulfilling end.
It ends greatly. I think Black Sails ends greatly.
Yeah, it ends satisfying. I mean, the premise of that whole story always bugged me, but overall, it's a great show.
Yeah. Like Game of Thrones might be the greatest parts of that show might be greater than those two shows, but the lowest lows are by far much lower than that. Yeah,
absolutely. Their lowest lows drag that show down. They drag that ship in the waters, man. It's like a fucking sea anchor just dragging her down. The Cape of Good Hope just fucking drowning everybody.
This is certainly one of the great animes I've watched, and it's not even finished yet.
Yeah.
I just hope if they can make the ending 75% as good as the average of the show, then I think it'll be great.
Yeah, they stick to land.
Yeah. That's all I got, guys. See you next episode.